friends, myself Siddhi, and this is my very first video on my very own channel, Absolute Periwinkle. I have made this 20-day series to crack Nift in just 20 days, which is starting from today, that is 31st of December 2019. So stay tuned and let's get started. I'm going to tell you guys about the first paper, that is the written paper, and which is scheduled on 19th of January 2020 for the current session. So coming on to the written paper, that paper is also divided into two parts, that is GAT and the CAT. Now GAT is the paper in which quantitative analysis, analytical reasoning, communication, English. So now the written paper is divided into two parts, that is the GAT and the CAT. Now GAT is the paper in which they test you analytically in language and based on your GK. And in CAT, that is a paper in which they basically test your creative skills and the drawing skills. So the distribution for the GAT paper is, you have got 20 questions from quantitative, 25 questions from communication, the next 25 from English, and the further 15 from analytical, and the last 15 are from GK and current affairs. After getting to know about the pattern of the paper, the next thing important is the marking system of the paper. So this year, Nift has reintroduced its negative marking. The basic concept of this negative marking is that if you score 1 mark for a correct answer, then you lose 1 by 4. That is 0.25 marks of the scored question when you answer a question wrongly. That is, if you have scored a total of 10 questions correct, then you score 10 marks, and then you have another 5 questions which you have answered wrongly, or say another 4 questions which you have answered wrongly. So for each of the 4 questions that you have answered wrongly, there is a 0.25 marks deducted from the score that you have scored from your correct answer, that is from 10. So when you subtract 4 into 0.25, that is 1 mark, from the scored score of 10 marks, that is 9 marks. So the total score that you gain at the end of the exam is of 9 marks. So this way you need to be very careful while you answer the questions. The first step for negative marking is that you need to read the question very clearly. You need not be in any kind of hurry while reading that question. There can be a hidden knot in that question, and then you do not read that knot and you answer a question in a whole different perspective. And that makes you lose 0.25 marks. And believe me, that 0.25 can change your rank from Delhi to Shillong Center. And that matters a lot. And maybe you can't even get into Nift if you don't value that 0.25 marks. So there are 3 basic tips that will make you gain confidence and score over the negative marking system. The first one out of which is reading the question very clearly, as I said before. The second one is your thought process and your preparation for the same should be very clear and in depth. You should not be confused while answering the question, and if you are having any kind of confusion, then you should leave that question. You should not answer that in a confused manner, as that will further make you lose a mark. Then the third and the most important tip is you should be confident while answering, as once you have put the OMR, blackened the OMR, you can't change it. So to avoid negative marking, these were the 3 tips which can be done by your preparation. The 4th tip and the very necessary tip is you should be very keen on marking the question number and the answer you're marking besides it. Like if you have solved question number 12, then you should mark the question answer just besides question number 12. You should not put the option you have chosen on the answer of question number 11 or 10 or 13. That makes a huge problem. So for what I would suggest for avoiding the silly mistake of negative marking is that when you solve a question, you should mark it just right then in your OMR. You should not delay the process of marking your OMR, as once the duration of 2 hours is over, they won't give you any extra time to fill in your OMR. The first thing you need to keep in your mind is, as soon as you solve your question, you need to blacken the OMR sheet just then. If you people like this video, then hit the like button, the subscribe button, and never miss the bell icon so that you never miss a video from this 20-day series and make it finally to Nift, the college of your dreams. All the best!